Hi, I'm Bob Mills, sitting here with the head coach of the Orlando Solar Bears, Vince Williams. Coach wanted to give an opportunity for all the fine fans back there in Orlando to get a little bit of an update on where the team's at so far on this road trip. 2 weeks in, 8 games into a 13-game trip at this point, and I think you got to be pretty happy with where the team's at on the trip. 7-1 so far on the road trip. Can you give us your thoughts on how the team's been playing here up to date?
Well, I think we were faced with a little bit of, certainly some, adversity that I think we challenged ourselves with at the beginning of the season in training camp, where we identified, what we were facing going into the season, and without looking too far ahead. It was something that you had to certainly address. But I thought leading into the road trip, we were playing a lot better hockey. I know it didn't show at the scoreboard at home. It was unfortunate that we weren't getting the wins, but we were starting to play the right way. And I thought, going into this, having an opportunity to get on the road and simplify our game. And it's been really, progressive as a group, not only from a team standpoint, but, individuals as well that's contributed to the team as well, which has been huge. We've getting contributions from everybody throughout the whole trip. Structurally, I think we've been, really solid. I think you have to be when you're on the road. And we've just been playing. We've been playing the right way. I think everyone's buying into what we need to do, and I think it couldn't come up at a better time for our group to get on the road and gel as a group and bond. And like I said, it's been, we've tried to manage the road trip, which is with enough rest as possible for the guys, not only, for their own, physical rest, but also mental rest, with each other, without each other, which I think is important as well. So, right now we're pretty happy with where we're at, but, we really want to, go into next weekend with a 3-3, back up to Toledo, Fort Wayne, and Kalamazoo, and before we head back down to Greenville. We want to have a real big weekend here, 3-3. It's certainly a big challenge for us. We have a lot of, some player movement, some injuries, some guys called up, which I think is, allows some other guys to step in and take advantage of the opportunity as well.
Yeah, one of the players who's been really an impact guy throughout the course of this trip, of course, has been Greg Miller. 10 straight games with at least 1 point now, at the top of the leaderboard around the league in terms of both goals and overall points on the season. What is he doing to make him so successful?
He has a high hockey IQ. He's a very intelligent player. He can adjust to a system. He does everything with a very calming presence and demeanor about him. Even the goal he scored yesterday, as much as that, good things happen to guys that throw pucks to the net. It started with his, what he did structurally in the defensive zone that, created an opportunity to go on the offense. And a lot of some of the goals that he scored have come on structurally transitional of goals and playing on the right side of it. For a guy that has offensive upside, his defensive side of the game and how he plays away from the puck and above the puck is very good. It's probably one of his best assets as a player, which is great for us as a coaching staff to be able to put him in every situation possible. He can play either wing, he can play in the center, power play, kill penalties. He's a very versatile player, and he just goes out and plays. And and he does it with a great demeanor, a very professional player, and and that's what he brings as part of our leadership group is that type of intangible things.
Solar Bears getting ready, you mentioned it, to head out for another 3-3 as part of this road trip this time. 3 different cities. You go to Toledo, you go Fort Wayne, then you get a Sunday afternoon game in Kalamazoo. What's the travel like for the team when this sort of thing goes on, though, now? Obviously, we're going to be taking off here from South Carolina tomorrow morning. Can you walk us through a little bit about what the travel is going to be throughout the remainder of this trip?
Well, yeah, we head up to Toledo, and then we're obviously going to be there over Thanksgiving, and I think it's good too. There'll be some players, a lot of players up there have family up around that way, so it'll be good to see some family. And then, like I said, we head to Fort Wayne Saturday, then Kalamazoo, and then we're going to go down to Nashville after the game in Kalamazoo. We're going to sit in Nashville Sunday, Monday. Practice at the Ford Center Tuesday before we head to Greenville. It's a great opportunity for us and to be able to practice in an NHL building Tuesday. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for the guys, and it's also stimulates them a little bit. It breaks up the trip as well, which I think is important physically and mentally. Before we head to Greenville for the final 2 games before we get a little taste of home cooking. So I think we've managed that. It's been very important for us to manage those types of trips and allow guys to be able to not have to leave necessarily right after the game to spend a day off in a place that they've never been before. Even Charleston, for a lot of guys, there's a lot of history here. It's a great opportunity for them to get to see it. And like I said, moving forward, with the 3 big games this weekend, to be able an opportunity in a different city as well and stay in Nashville and, hopefully do some, a team function there and have guys, be able to get together and get to see a different type of city and experience a different culture and before we head to Greenville. So I think that's been the best approach to break things up. That way you're not sitting in one place for desolate for a long period of time, because that can, you get a little bit of cabin fever. So, and I don't know what the weather's like up north right now, but it's okay right here. So, but we're definitely looking forward to, having a real solid second half of this road trip and getting back home and playing in front of our own fans.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Solar Bears will get a chance to come back home for a couple of games against the Elmira Jackals. The 9th, the 11th is that first week that the team comes back there in December. One of those 2 games on the 11th is Teddy Bear Toss. Is it going to be exciting to get back to the Amway Center after being gone for such a long period of time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we miss playing in our building. I think, we certainly, I know when we left that we weren't, we needed to get a few wins in front of our fans. But we knew that over that weekend before we went on the road that we were in the right direction of how we were playing. So it's certainly something that like home is home, and then the opportunity to sleep in your own bed and get back to getting back to playing at home and walking in that building and seeing the people and everybody in the organization. It's going to be exciting. I mean, like I said, you always get a little hop in your step when you're coming back home, and I think this will even be that much greater with the fact that we haven't been there in so long. That it'll generate some excitement, and like I said, it's the best building, the best fans in the league, and it's always a great opportunity to play in front of them.
All right, Coach, appreciate the update and the insight on what's going on the road trip. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Bob.
So the Bears have 5 games left on the road trip. Then they'll head back home December the 9th, December the 11th against the Elmira Jackals, December 11th. That Thursday night contest, also Teddy Bear Toss back at the Amway Center. To get tickets, be sure to call the Solar Bears, 407-951-8200. Go to OrlandoSolarBearsHockey.com. You can go to Ticketmaster.com for the Amway Center box office.